Yes. Rotation claims another one in the world of trading cards. Make sure you guys smash some crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. There's been a lot of ripples this morning from Bandai's decision to make One Piece a rotatable game in 2026, which means they're going to be doing blocks every single year. And I have seen nothing really positive about this from people. So here's the thing. Strong IPs like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon support rotation because their player base keeps coming back to them. Now, I'm not going to say that One Piece is not a strong IP. No. People looked at One Piece as an opportunity to, it's an eternal format. The game is developing. I can pick up these serial number cards. They'll stick with me forever. I can play these. There's been no announcement about this. And then you reach the events of today. Now, to my understanding, there's going to be two formats. You can still play with all of the cards in another format. And to everything I understand about One Piece, there are enough players to want to support this. But the problem is they're making the standard format, which is going to be the rotatable format. Anybody else? You guys smell that? You guys smell that? That's not the fart that I had before I started filming this video. No, that's actually the sound of cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, the money machine? Ah, it's our dear old friend. So one thing that I think had a lot of people worried about the One Piece variety of things is, as you're revving up into 10, 11 sets out here, and you're starting to make these, there's only so much creative juices that I feel like you can kind of pump into a TCG. Anybody remember Dragon Ball? I'm not going to say that, 20, what is it? They're on what? It's not, is it Masters? I always get it's Masters, because Fusion World is the one that was the newer one. It's like 20 plus sets, and I believe they're down to 6 months between sets right now on people, getting support, which, I mean, you've only got so many creative juices to do the thing. So by implementing rotation with a game that's as popular as One Piece is, ensures that the meta will constantly change. It means that they can, if a card's a problem, they can use rotation. See, they can use rotation to naturally fix these problems. And then you're going to have the entire Yu-Gi-Oh crowd stumble on in here. And this is the part I have loved. I had dinner. I had breakfast with my friend this morning. Huge One Piece player. And I think we were like 15 minutes after the rotation got announced. And first thing I hear is, I guess it's time to sell everything. And when a game goes to rotation, I mean, if I've learned anything from Vanguard out here, who rebooted twice, which you just killed their center format, which was their first reboot, and now is just an eternal format and the standard format. You have to support the legacy format. And I think that's, while they said there would be the main thing will be the standard format, as long as they have competitions for the people that do enjoy the more, this is going to be the more toxic format by any stretch of the imagination. That's why Pokemon players are afraid of Expanded out here. They're afraid of, 12 years of extra interactions, and, they can stick in their little time capsule of just 2 years, and, they don't have to worry about broken things. You will have people that will enjoy that format. They'll be able to play their favorite decks. And, as long as there's competitions and things, I don't think that this is the worst thing in the world. I think One Piece is one of the few games that can actually support it. Believe it or not. I've paid a little bit, my knowledge on One Piece, it grows very slowly. it's, I think they can do it. I don't think rotation's going to kill this game. I think a lot of the collectability is still going to be there. I do think that you are about to see a mass exodus of the game. Not because of, rotation. It's because people get very flaky on this sort of stuff. People become very scared. When you announce a rotation system like this, even if it's 9-10 months out, you might not have meant to lose players' trust, but you rock the boat a lot. And I think you're going to watch a lot of mass exodus of people just losing faith in the game. This happens all the time. It's not a bad thing. It's just people don't like their cards, fluctuating. There will be a time where, you'll look back, they'll reprint some of those cards from that first block that rotates out. They'll be back and all of a sudden, gosh darn it, shouldn't have sold that. I'm rich now. It's gonna happen. And it's a tale as old as time. We follow the same cycle out here. So today, rotation took a real one. Rotation entered into the world of One Piece, made a lot of the player base very upset. Really, this is important to the world of trading card games, because when a card game that had no signs anywhere of being rotation does this, it's also Bandai's first time with a rotation game, to my understanding, and it's got a lot of people a little bit shaken. But Bandai's been hitting. They've been a lot more successful in the more recent years than they have, from the days of Naruto of old. So, they're massively improving out here. They're coming a long way. Concerns still will be, how will rotation affect the overall course of the game? How will you guys be handling these bigger championship events? Obviously, how much representation will you have to this Eternal format? And I think the biggest question of all here with an Eternal format is, this is going to affect a lot of the ecosystem of stores in Japan. You might not know this or not, but Japan's entire system, their entire card academy, runs on stores in Japan. The players, they do have access to Mercari to sell cards, which is basically their eBay. But, most of the sales happen from person to store, which is blasphemy in the US for whatever reason, but whatever. That's how things work. I think that this might shake up some of the confidence of stores wanting to pick up One Piece for the long term. Nobody really thinks about the card economy itself. Like, you just wedged collectors really, really hard on this. And I guess this will make collecting older cards, getting complete sets for collectability, that might actually be a good thing overall. But I think on the Japanese Card Academy side of things, or economy, I don't think that this is a good thing. I think you might have just hurt your relationship with your stores a little bit. Because people were like, even on the worst case, we can keep these for the long haul. No, your inventory now has a timer. And that's why people like Yu-Gi-Oh! So I think you're going to see some familiar faces kind of returning back, because now, the people who are picking up One Piece decks are just like, well, it's going to be worthless in a year or two, so what's the point? But don't tell anybody, but Pokemon's on a rotation too, and people buy shit all the time from that to play. And to my understanding, One Piece prize cards, they're not quite as much as Pokemon, but I can't imagine that people aren't willing to spend the money to go try to travel for One Piece prize cards. Couldn't be me though, right? So I think everything's going to be hunky-dory in the long term. I think there's a little bit of a shake-up happening out here, but yeah, I expect to see some returning faces back to other trading card games now, as people are just like, Bandai, what are you doing? You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.